Hi everybody, I'm Chuck Gibson, and this is Loveland Beacon Talks, a sports special edition, catching up with Evagoras Papasavvas as he heads to race weekend number 1 for the IndyCar USF 2000 season. And Evagoras is going to join us here in just a moment as he gets ready to depart for that first race weekend on the streets of St. Pete. And so Evagoras is with us now for a quick update, and we're going to continue to follow him throughout the racing season. But right now, let's get to Evagoras. Well, Evagoras Papasavvas, it is good to have you back with us. We're going to track you all season, so thanks for being willing to talk with us and give us the updates. So quick 10 minutes as we record this evening. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, real quick though, so this is the update for our listeners. Since the last time we talked, 3 weeks ago, on the 22nd of February, and of course the snow was falling at the time here, but since then, you've been to NOLA in Louisiana, and you've been on the track the 26th and the 27th. How did that go for you?
I think the test, the efficiency test, I think went really well. That's that test is like the first test where everyone is there. So you see everyone with their new teams, new drivers coming into the series. Media starts up again, so then you start to get into that groove. And then, the driving itself, the actual racing itself, for me at least, I think it was a pretty solid performance that we put out. P1 in the first session, and then consistently in the top 5 for 4 out of the 5 sessions. So I think it was very, very good test session overall. Learned a lot. We know we have pace. We learned a lot on the car. I think we have a very strong car going into this season. So very, very excited, very prepared for that. But this test, it was really just kind of get back into the groove of driving. Like I said before, there's like a certain groove and a certain flow that you need to be in when it comes to driving. And, it was really good to have that test so close to St. Petersburg to really get back into the groove of things.
Right, well, take me through, so what was going on that weekend? Like you said, I guess 5 sessions or whatever, and P1, the first one, for our listeners, what does that mean, P1? On the first session for you?
I mean, P1 for the first session and any session really, but especially the first session, it really tells everyone else that I'm a real competitor. The very first session, so everyone's fresh, and it just, it's just based on the work that you've been doing off the track the very first session. So it really shows how hard I've been working and how ready I am to start, to start racing this season and to get going and really like, put my image there in front of everyone's faces. That first P1 first session.
Putting a target on your back too, right? they know who they have to chase this year.
Yeah. That comes with some of it, but I don't really view it as a target on my back. I still view that I'm still chasing. Right. I'm still chasing them. I'm still chasing those wins. Just taking it race by race, just winning those races, and then
Now that session again at NOLA, all of those sessions, are you guys racing during those, or are you doing laps for time as just like the test session, which I was able to go with back in Indianapolis in October? How does that work during the session at NOLA? Are you guys? I mean, I know you're on the track more than one car together, but you're not actually racing in that session.
Yeah, it's there's no racing. It's just time trial basically.
Right.
Just time to laps. So it really comes down. You have like a 45 minute session, but it really comes down to the fastest lap that you can do in the entire 45 minutes. So. So we're not doing any actual on-track racing, but there will be instances where we do come across another driver while we're, doing our laps.
Right.
And, most of the time we don't really get very racy. We just, we give each other space. Like if you're coming up on them, they will probably let you by and just keep going. So there's really, like, racing wise, there's really no one, like on track racing wise, no one really, I wouldn't say cares, but no one really minds about the other guys passing them, because it's just about lap time.
Right. Well, and it was really great to hear at the outset, Evagoras, when you said, you learned some things, and among those things that you learned at NOLA, you said, we've got pace. So you're feeling, what is that? How does that translate? Confidence in the car, confidence in the team when you have pace and the speed to make the fast laps. I'm trying to relate that for our listeners.
Yeah, and when we know that we have that pace, that speed, it really boosts your confidence going into next sessions and even next races as well, because you know that you're a competitor, and you know that you can perform and you can reach that win. And it's just that little bit more that you have to find. But I'm feeling really confident. Glad that we put in those results to not only show everyone else that we're here and we're a competitor, but also just kind of prove it to ourselves that after all this work, we're there at the top.
Right. Well, let's go. Let's fast. No pun intended, but let's fast forward. So as you and I are recording this, quick update right now, Evagoras, you're literally hours away. I mean, you're gonna get a good sleep tonight, and you're gonna board an airplane. This is Tuesday, March 5th. You're gonna board a plane to St. Petersburg on Wednesday, March the 6th, and then you will be racing this weekend on the streets of St. Petersburg, which is, if I recall correctly, what you've told me, one of your favorite races.
Yes, it's one of my favorite tracks. One of my favorite races in general. The atmosphere is so great. It's really cool. It's almost like a party, kind of. Like, it's downtown, St. Petersburg, so, there's a lot of nice restaurants. There's a ton of fans for it being the first, not only for our series, but also the first IndyCar race. So everyone wants to go to the first IndyCar race. And it's really just, there's tons of fans. There's tons of media there. The track is great. The atmosphere is great. And yeah, I really love that event, that environment, and I'm ready to get going. And I still remember, like, it being like October, and just kind of impatiently waiting for the season to start. But it's already came pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm feeling really ready, and yeah, I can't wait to get going.
Even for me, because I was able to go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway with you back in October, and as much as that seemed then, like, man, that race on the streets of St. Pete is so far off, and it's a long off season. You're not in the seat, and even for me, just as following and having excitement about what you're doing on the track. It's like, wow, you know what? Now here we are. I mean, March 8th and March 9th are right around the corner for you. And which reminds me, so the streets of St. Pete, like, off the top of your head, I mean, how many turns is that? I mean, that's a road course. I mean, that's the streets of St. Pete. You got that pretty well down. How many turns are you making in a lap there?
Yeah, so each lap consists of 13 turns, and the races length, from last year, I think, the limit is always like 45 minutes, so it's just based on, or like, I think it's like 25, 35 minutes, just how many laps we can do in that amount of time. So it's a pretty decent race, pretty decent length, just enough length to where you can really, like, start making progress on some guys in front of you, or building a gap to the guys behind you, and it gives you some time to still continue to get a little bit racy towards the end. So yeah, I mean, 13 turns, and it's a very tight technical track. Very street courses, I like them because there's a lot more risk, because, well, instead of, like, if you make a mistake and there's no grass for you to go off on. It's not very open. The street races, it's just a wall, a concrete wall. Right. So if you make a mistake, you hit the wall and damage to your car, and that's either the end of your session, or if it's really, really bad, the end of your weekend.
Perfect. Well, hey, race number 1 and race number 2 of the 2024 season is right in front of you, Evagoras. Thank you so much for giving us this this time right now, and I want to tell you we wish you the very best this weekend on the streets of St. Petersburg. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Lovely to be on here.
Good luck, Evagoras. Take care.
Thank you.
All right,
Nice
thanks. Bye-bye. That was up-and-coming Indy race car driver Evagoras Papasavvas. Be sure to join us throughout the USF 2024 Indy Series racing season as we follow Evagoras to the checkered flag in pursuit of a place on the winner's podium and a driver championship. This has been a sports special presentation of Loveland Beacon Talks. I'm Chuck Gibson, saying thanks for listening here on Loveland Beacon. Loveland Beacon Talks is a presentation of Loveland Beacon Digital Media and Gibson Communications, LLC.